The latest Eureka Classics release is The Sword, and to be honest, this kind of feels like it deserves to be in the Masters of Cinema series. It's such a wonderful film with some absolutely fantastic cinematography. The widescreen aspect is just out within these real locations is terrific. The characters are all wonderful in their own way. They're either over the top bad guys, or there's the love interest, or there's a hero who you empathise with, or there can be a character who you can kind of understand their machinations but not really agree with them, but understand why they're doing what they're doing. You have this kind of melodrama aspect to it. There is always a somber feeling through this film that it's heading towards an inevitable but tragic finale, and you have these characters having these wonderful wuxia fights that are just breathtaking. Everything comes together in a wonderful tale here. The Sword is all about a sword that is tinged with terror. It's been made and cursed, and whoever wields it tends to find that things are bad are going to happen. And a master has disappeared, retirement, and our young upcoming swordsman has decided that he wants to track this man down and test his abilities against him to see if he is as good as the person he aspires to be. Along the way, he meets up with a young girl whom he helps at a situation. He finds out that he knows some other people who are also in the hunt for this sword, and it becomes kind of men on a mission, but with more tied into it. Because of the relationships between these characters, you know there is history there, and as the history is drip-fed to us, it makes you kind of aware of these past transgressions and how it's going to lead and be more impactful fights later on as these characters are battling against one another. There feels as if there's real world stakes here. It's not just people jumping about and fighting because they want to prove they're the best. There are reasons that's put them on that journey. They have as an understanding as to why they're doing what they're doing. The sword fighting, the fighting sequences in themselves are all wonderful. I find them to be different enough and breathtaking enough that they are at moments absolutely jaw-dropping, including the inevitable fight at the end, which just ends in such a unique manner. And to see the two characters at the end fighting and having their attacks land and real damage happening to both our hero and villain, and to see them take the toll of this battle onto them was really great, because normally these people are almost superhuman at times, but when they meet their match, there are moments where they end up injured, and these two guys just keep tearing each other down till you get to the finale, which, to be honest, even though I knew someone had to win, I did not see how they would win coming at all. It was truly shocking. One of those moments where you're like, did that just happen? I'm going to have to go back and check that out. The landscapes that people are in are just terrific. I loved the kind of rolling hills. I loved the small towns. I loved it when we were just sitting in a kind of gazebo look as rain poured round about, as two of our characters connected without actually connecting, which was a great sequence, and all the kind of character machinations really lift this one up. Although it does have these wonderful fight sequences, there is definitely a great story and a great amount of emotion put into this one as well. I was thoroughly impressed by The Sword. I loved just about everything in this film. The characters I really attuned to. The fight sequences were wonderful. The kind of melancholic, sad nature to these lifestyles that people had, testing their abilities, looking to be the best, and the inevitability of that lifestyle was something that wasn't championed as something to be something of, but a sad indictment of the times, really. People were so invested in being the best that it could lead to their demise, and most often did. And the film treats that with a kind of pathos that I really enjoyed. Wonderful film. Let's dive into the extras and see what there is. We have the film with Cantonese mono audio, English mono audio, Mandarin mono audio. We have an audio commentary with Frank Jiang, and a second commentary with Mike Leader and Arn Vinama. Forging Ahead, Wayne Wong on the sword is 17 minutes 58 seconds, talking a lot about Patrick Tam and how this was kind of new in the wave wuxia. We talk a lot about how this is kind of like the search of the Hong Kong identity and the kind of displacement that the younger people were feeling at the time. We have Andrew Heskin's interview, which is 13 minutes 11, again talking about the Hong Kong new wave. Goes through a little bit of Patrick Tam's career, how he got into film, how he kind of evolved, and how this was a kind of reaction to Shaw Brothers films, taking it into a more realistic environment, adding women back in as protagonists and stronger emotional cores to the films. And there's also an original theatrical trailer. That's the extras for The Sword. There we have it. The Sword is out now. Terrific film. Honestly, you need to pick this one up. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. So did you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff in the description box. Are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.